So the next part we're going to talk about is called companion volumes. And we have a number of different companion volumes. Currently on our website, the implementation guide for both CHC and HLT is available, and it's the updated version. We have to create it when we create our case for endorsement. So that is available for you now. It prints off as a PDF and you can print it. We don't have copies of it. It's currently about 120 odd pages for each one. It will probably get a bit bigger when we have to redo it in October. Will be an assessment strategies guide, knowledge guide, learning strategies guide. The ones currently on our website are from the last time we did this, which is about 2013. But we'll be updating those. They will be updated in a couple of weeks. We're finalising the drafts, getting them signed off, and they'll be loaded. They'll also be downloadable as PDFs, and I'll show you a bit later. We have them for HLT as well, and we will keep the ones that are specified here for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander units, because they're for the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health worker. There's quite a lot of units there. I think it's something like 60. So they will stay and we will create a special one. We also have a first aid guide. Some of our biggest questions are about first aid. I'd say print it off. It's very detailed. It has mappings to show your gap trainings and all of that if you need to go from an old to new and a new to an old. It's very good. There will also be foundation skills guide and a work placement guide. So they're all coming.
Are they the latest ones that are up there now?
No, they're not the latest ones.
They're all going to be replaced.
Yeah, those ones will the health ones that are up there currently will stay, and we'll put a second set, which will be just for HLT, but there'll be ones specifically for the Aboriginal health worker stuff.
Companion volumes have been developed to support the implementation of training packages that meet the new national standards. Both the community services and health training packages are supported by suites of companion volumes. Both training packages have an implementation guide, which includes overview information about the entire training package, including a list of all units, skill sets, and qualifications in the training package. They include information about equivalence with units and qualifications from previous training packages. In these guides, you'll find all sorts of key information for RTOs, information about pathways and occupational outcomes and entry requirements, information about mandatory work experience or placements, legal considerations, and a whole lot more. Then there are learning strategies guides that describe ways of delivering training to different groups of learners. They include information about designing and developing training programs, sequencing and clustering units, choosing electives, questions to help contextualize units, and case studies about how work placements are conducted by different RTOs. Let's look at a sample case study from one of these guides. There are common units in the Certificate 3 and Diploma of Early Childhood Education and Care, so one RTO plans to deliver the common units to the same group, then divide the group depending on their needs. Is that an idea that you could adapt at your RTO? Use the ideas in the Learning Strategies Guide to help design engaging programs to suit the needs of the context in which you work and to ensure that you deliver quality training programs. The knowledge guides identify knowledge requirements of the units of competency, information about potential training resources, and links to useful information. It's very important that you use the glossaries in these guides. That's where you'll find the definitions of terms used in units. There's also information about where to find resources that are referred to in units of competency. For example, the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating is referred to in units such as Promote and Provide Healthy Food and Drinks. The Knowledge Guide provides a link to important documents. Make sure they become part of the training and assessment that you deliver. There is also information about relevant state and territory laws and regulations for different sectors, so you don't need to go hunting for that sort of information for yourself. So the knowledge guides will help clarify the knowledge evidence referred to in assessment requirements and help clarify what should be assessed. The Assessment Strategies Guides include information about the assessment requirements from units and suggestions for how assessment can be carried out. There's also information about good practice in assessment, just to refresh your knowledge about the essential principles that must underpin all assessment. The Assessment Strategies Guides also contain a thorough explanation about the assessment requirements for units. Here's another example. The Assessment Strategies Guide includes a sample assessment plan for units from the Certificate 3 in Early Childhood Education and Care. It shows the groups of units that have a common focus that could be clustered for assessment. You could adapt this plan to suit your needs. There are lots of ideas about how to go about assessment in different contexts and with different learner groups. The ideas are intended to offer options for you to consider for your own practice, to ensure that you deliver quality assessment that meets standards that industry can rely on. The final companion volume to mention is the Foundation Skills Guide, developed for the Community Services Training Package that provides guidance about ways to develop foundation skills of learners. This companion volume has information about foundation skills in units and assessment requirements, about the ACSF levels of units, about how to find out what foundation skills you should address in your training delivery, and all sorts of case studies about how trainers dealt with different foundation skills needs. You're sure to pick up some strategies that you will be able to use in your practice. Take some time to have a good look through these companion volumes and use the information they include. Using the information will help build training and assessment programs that meet the needs of industry and the needs of your learners. The companion volumes for the Community Services and Health Training Packages are available at www.CS&HISC.com.au. Select the Companion Volumes button at the bottom of the home page.
First of all, units never had a level. So how you cluster them is whether it works as your training. You can look at our guides for a hint, but it's actually about, does that work? If it works for you and your training, then that's okay. If you want to look at the one, because you can look at like maybe these skills flow on, it's your decision. It's not actually a diploma unit because they won't exist. There's no prerequisite units. So this is our website. So this is where you'll find the companion volumes. This is what the companion volumes page looks like. So this implementation guide and this implementation guide are updated and they're current. If you download those, they will include information about your qualifications and units that we've just released, as well as what we had previously. These ones here will be updated, and that first aid guide will stay there. No. And if you look at this is what the implementation guide looks like. So it's got a whole lot of stuff. It'll have the really high level mapping, it'll have information that you'll need, certain definitions. 9 times out of 10, the questions we get can be answered in the implementation guide. It's the one I refer to people to the most. It'll be, look at this page, because it's already there. Most of it, we get all the questions, we collate them, we know what to put in our guides, so they're generally there.
Certificate 3 in implementation guides and companion volumes. You get a certificate 4 at the end for having read all this stuff.
Probably, yeah. So they're there. So if you want to print them off, and it's a good idea to have copies, you can, don't have to print them off, save them to your desktop, do whatever. But it's a good idea to have them.
So once these are old and they won't be updated for a while?
These ones will be slightly updated in October, we have to, and then in December when we get endorsed,
They'll be then permanent for a
period of time. We will talk about that in a moment. We'll talk about the future, it's very exciting for us.